Okay, we are on to video number 3 for multi-step equations with integers. So in this section, so far we did introduction to integers, positive and negative numbers. We did one-step and two-step equations, but now we want to take a look at multi-step equations. In this case, let's review. You've seen this slide before. 30 is the coefficient, x is the variable, 4 is the constant. When you need to clean up an equation before you can even start, you remember you cannot have double signs. Two negatives make a positive and a negative make a negative. You cannot have like terms. Like terms have to be combined. So a 2x and a 3x becomes a 5x. Remember, like terms, same variable, same exponent. Here I have distributive property. I need to clean up my distributive property before I can begin solving. So it's 3 times x, 3 times negative 2. The sign goes with the term. Whoa, look at this on the top. All of a sudden we have a big mess. 6f plus 3 minus 4f plus 5 plus 10f. Combine like terms. Use colors. Everyone in my class knows that I like colors. Isn't that correct, Maricela? I think colors are important. So I am going to take all of the variable f's. So I'm going to find all the like terms that use f as the variable. I made them pink. 6f, negative 4f, positive 10f. Now I found my constants. I have a positive 3 and a positive 5, plus 3 plus 5. I used a second color. Combine them. Combine all the pinks. A positive 6, a negative 4, a positive 10 makes a positive 12f plus 8. Take a look at the second example. I have made the x's pink, the y's green. The sign goes with the term. Combine like terms. The last one. I have 16a and a negative 7a. That makes a positive 9a. I have a positive 7c and a positive 1c. Remember that invisible 1 in front of the variable? 7 plus 1 is 8c. And then I have a constant, plus 5. Just bring it in. Just bring it down. Don't combine it with anything. So here's an example for you. If I had the tool that would allow me to put the shade up, for some reason my computer won't let me have it, you would see that I have now highlighted in colors the 3x and the 6x, the constants, combine them, and now I have 9x minus 2 equals 25. Time to solve for x. This is a two-step problem. Add 2 to both sides. I get 9x equals 27. Divide both sides by 9. X equals 3. What if I want to use the distributive property? Andrea loves the distributive property, don't you, Andrea? So we want to give a little shout out to her because distributive property is one of our favorites. In distributive property, you have to remember the sign goes with the term. 6 times y, 6y. 6 times positive 8, positive 48. If it was a negative 6 times y, I'd have negative 6y. Negative 6 times a positive 8, a plus 8, is a negative 48. 4 times 4x is 16x. 4 times negative 4 is negative 16. And then just bring the plus 3x and bring it with. It doesn't combine with anything. I end up having a 16x and a 3x. I probably should have had a little color in here so that I would have realized that I had like terms. I have a 16x and I have a plus 3x. I get 19x minus 16. There is an order to the terms after they are combined. The largest exponent So the term with the largest exponent should go first, and the constant always goes last. So once I have combined my terms, I sometimes have to rearrange my problem so that the largest exponent term goes first. Think of your terms as puzzle pieces. Just pretend that these are each a piece of a puzzle in their own little box with the term. You can take those 3 boxes and rearrange them anywhere you want like a puzzle. You're going to get the same problem as long as the sign stays with the term. 6x, a minus 4, a negative 3x, a positive 7. Combine the x's, 3x. Combine the constants, plus 3. X plus 2x. Remember that an x by itself has an invisible 1 in front of it. So be careful. Always put the invisible ones in. You'll need them. Multi-step equations with whole numbers. Okay, Jada, you ready for this? This is what we like the best because we don't like fractions. We're saving those fractions for poor Layla, who's going to get stuck with the fractions section when we get to it. But right now we have multi-step equations with whole numbers, Jada's favorite. Sometimes you will need to simplify the equation first, meaning you have to clean it up. So combine like terms. Like terms have the same variable and the same exponent. Remember, the sign goes with the terms. So I have my 6x and my negative 8x, negative 2x. Bring down my 3. I'm ready to solve. Plus 3, subtract 3 from both sides. Now I'm left with negative 2x equals 10. Layla, what do you think? This is multiplication, so I use the opposite operation. I divide by negative 2. And x equals negative 5. Just another example. Combine like terms. Maricela, what do you think? 23x and a negative 7x, 16x. A negative 14, there's no other constant on the left. Bring it down. I'm ready to solve. Once your equation is cleaned up, you're ready to solve. Add 14 to both sides. Divide by 16. X equals 6. Distributive property. I think this is Layla's section actually, not fractions. So Layla, you are actually good because I love distributive property. So hopefully you're joining us today and you're going to see how to use distributive property. 8 times 2x, 16x. 8 times negative 4. The sign goes with the term, negative 32. Of course, it looks just like minus 4 and minus 32, but the people in math decided to use that one symbol to mean negative, minus, subtract. So many terms for that one little symbol. I'm ready to solve for x. Add 32, divide by 16, x equals 8. Distributive property. 4 times 2x is 8x. 4 times a positive 7 is a positive 28. Subtract 28, divide by 8, x equals 10. So you can see distributive property is actually one of my favorites also, but distributive property is a huge portion of 8th grade math and Algebra 1. Negative 7 times 3, negative 21x. So it's negative 7 times 3x, I'm sorry. Negative 7 times negative 1, 2 negatives make a positive. You also see why the rules of integers are extremely important. Subtract 7, divide by negative 21, x equals negative 4. What if you have a distributive property and like terms? Oh dear. Well, I have nobody left that came to my video meet, so I have no one to blame this one on, so I guess I take the blame. You have to clean this mess up first. Distributive property gets done first. Okay, well, I don't see distributive property. I just see parentheses. Well, in front of that parentheses where there's no number, invisible 1. I suggest you put it in. You could use rules of subtraction with parentheses, but they're more complicated, and you're going to get really good at distributive property, so I'd prefer you use distributive property. I now have negative 1 times x, which is negative 1x, negative 1 times a positive 2, which is negative 2. 6 minus 1x minus 2. 6 and negative 2 are my constants. Combine them together, I get a positive 4 minus 1x. I'm not done. I need x to live alone. So I still need to get rid of the 4. It's positive. Subtract 4 from both sides. I am left with a negative 1x. I don't want a negative 1x. I want a positive x. So I have to divide both sides by negative 1 just to eliminate this invisible 1 that I added. But I needed it. Otherwise, that negative sign would just be sitting out here all by itself. In the end, negative 5 equals x. I suggest you check your work. Put x, make this x a negative 5 in the original equation, and make sure that both sides equal each other. Here I have a distributive property. Take a look at it instead of me just talking on and on. Look what I've done. Negative 4 times 2, negative 4 times positive 11. Different signs made a negative. Here, different signs made a negative. Combine like terms. Get rid of my constant. Get rid of my coefficient by dividing. X equals negative 19. I suggest you try one. Pause the screen and try the example. Welcome back. Here is my solution. I show you the steps. Wait, let me make sure this is the right oh, it's a different problem. That didn't help you. I thought this was the solution to the original problem. Sorry. So go ahead and you can take a look at this problem and see what I've done. Sorry about that. But I'm going to go ahead and move on because we are finished with our multi-step problems. So thank you. I hope that you enjoyed, and I will see you very soon. Oh, nope, sorry. I lied to you. We weren't done. The fractions are here. Multi-step equations with fractions. Oh, this is what we were trying not to do. X over 2 plus 13 equals 17. Get rid of the 13. I'm left with x over 2 equals 4. That's okay. Multiply both sides by 2, and x equals 8. Same thing. Get rid of the 13 first. I'm left with 5/8 x. I know that I can multiply by the reciprocal, cross cancel, and here I've multiplied by the reciprocal, cross canceled. This case, it just happened to be 5. X equals 8. Be aware that 5x over 8 is the same as 5/8 times x. All right, here is where we start to fall apart. We have a fraction on the bottom. I'm going to multiply every term times 5 to get rid of these denominators. But I don't have to really multiply by 5 because it's actually going to cross cancel with every denominator, and I am left with x plus 1 equals 2. Here I show you the long way what's happening. 5 times x over 5, 5 times 1 over 5, 5 times 2 over 5. Now I can just reduce to simplest form, and I end up still with x plus 1 equals 2. Subtract 1 from both sides, x equals 1. Remember, 5 equals 5 over 1. You have to simplify all fractions Eliminate denominators, cross cancel. If the denominators are not common, you eliminate them by using the least common denominator, also called the least common multiple. You always start with the largest denominator and use multiples of that number to test the others. In this case, 8 is my largest denominator. Multiples of 8, 8, 16, 24. Do 4 and 6 go into 8 evenly? No. Do 4 and 6 go into 16 evenly? No. Do 4 and 6 go into 24 evenly? Yes. That becomes my common denominator or common multiple. Remember, 3 1/8, when you are multiplying and dividing fractions, you must convert it to an improper fraction. 3 1/8 is actually 3 times 8 is 24 plus 1 is 25 over 8. So here I have unlike denominators. Find your largest denominator, 6. Do 2 and 3 go into 6 evenly? Yes. Multiply every fraction by 6, every term. Cross cancel. You are left with 3k plus 4 equals 5. Now you can solve. Subtract the 4, divide by 3. The least common multiple eliminates all denominators. It might look like a lot of work, but that's only because I retyped it so many times. You would do it once, and then you would just cross cancel and go to your final answer. In this case, I cannot have 1 5/6. I must make it 11/6, an improper fraction. Look at all my denominators, 9, 3, 2, and 6. 9 is my largest denominator. Do 3, 2, and 6 go into 9 evenly? No. The next multiple of 9 is 18. Do 9, 3, 2, and 6 go into 18 evenly? Yes. Multiply every term by 18 over 1, because 18 over 1 is the same as 18. Cross cancel. I suggest you pause this video. Cross cancel. What happens is at the end, all the denominators are gone. 2 times 4p is 8p. 6 times p is 6p. 9 times 1 is 9, but there is a minus sign here, so it's a negative 9. 11 times 3 is 33. Add 9, divide by 14, and you are good to go. One left for you to try. Look for a common denominator. Pause the screen. There is your solution. Thank you, and I'm sorry this was so long, but we are in remote learning, and normally you'd be in class over an hour, and this is only 18 minutes. Enjoy, and please review this video maybe once, twice, or 3 times. Thanks.